right, call you back. I'll call. Welcome back. We're gonna hit some serious topics today. Like, share, subscribe. I appreciate my new subscribers. All right, now I just figured this thing out. Oh, there it go. There it go. I'm trying to make this big. All right, there it is. So we're getting back to our series on secret societies. To we're finishing up, starting on the Eleusinian mystery system. I last finished off with the Egyptian mystery system. So now this is the Eleusinian mysteries. Hold on one second. I got to turn this off. All right. All right, cuz you in here? Okay. So the most famous of the ancient religious mysteries were the Eleusinian, whose rites were celebrated every 5. Come on, StreamYard, because this is going to be a short video. In the city of Eleusis to honor Cree, Demetria, Re, or Isis, and her daughter Persephone. The initiates of the Eleusinian school were famous throughout Greece for the beauty of their philosophic concepts and the high standards of morality which they demonstrated in their daily lives. Because of their excellence, these mysteries spread to Rome and Britain, and later the initiates were given in both of these countries. The Eleusinian mysteries, named for their community in Attica, where the sacred dramas were first presented, are generally believed to have been founded by Euphilus about 1400 years before the birth of Christ. And through the Platonic system of philosophy, their principles have been preserved to modern times. The rites of Eleusinius was a metatrophilis of rites of Isis and Osiris, and there is every reason to believe that all the so-called secret schools of ancient world were branches from one philosophic tree, which, with its root in heaven and its branches on earth, is like the spirit of man, an invisible but ever present cause of the objectified vehicles that give it inspiration or expression. The mysteries were the channels through which this one philosophic light was disseminated, and their initiates, replicant with intellect and spiritual understanding, were the perfect fruiters of the divine tree, bearing witness before the maternal world of recondite source of all light and truth. The rites of the Eleusinians were divided in what were called the lesser and greater mysteries. According to James Gardner, the mysteries were celebrated in spring around this time of Easter, preferably at the time of the vernal equinox, in the time of Agri, and greater in the fall, which is the autumn equinox, which is every September in Athens. It is supposed that the former were given annually and later every 5 years. The rituals of the Eleusinians were highly evolved, and to understand them required a deep study of Greek mythology. I used to love Greek mythology in middle school, which they interpreted in its esoteric light with the aid of the secret keys. The lesser mysteries were dedicated to Persephone. In his Eleusinian and Bacchic mysteries, Thomas Taylor sums up their purpose. Shoot, now I'm gonna have to hold on. I'm gonna have to make this smaller. I should have brought it up on my phone. Okay, here it is. It's taking its time. Now what happened? Now what happened? Now what happened? Where did I go? Oh, okay. Shoot, I can't. I gotta keep it at full screen because I can't see. I used to laugh at people that couldn't see, but now I'm one of them. Pluto. All right, now Pluto, the lord of the underworld, represents the body of intelligence of man, and the rape of Personion is symbolic of the divine nature of the assaulted and defiled by the animal soul and dragged downward in the somber darkness of Hades, and Hades is hell, which is here used as a synonym for the maternal or objective sphere of consciousness. In his dissertations upon the painted Greek vase, James Christie represents the version of occurrence taking place during the 9 days required for the enactment of the greater Eleusinian rites. The first day was that of a general meeting, during which those to be initiated were questioned concerning their level of qualifications. The second day was spent in a procession to the sea, possibly for submerging of the image of the presiding goddess, like being baptized. The third day was opened by sacrifice of a mullet or any type of animal. On the fourth day, the mystic basket containing certain sacred symbols was brought to Elysius, accompanied by a number of female devotees carrying smaller baskets. On the fifth day, there was a torch race. On the sixth, a procession led by the statue of Bacchus. And on the seventh day, a affirmation repetition of everything that happened during the first 8 days. And the ninth day, the symbol of Bacchus was exhibited as an emblem of supreme importance. The mysteries of Eleusinian also laid stress upon the evil of suicide, explaining that there was a profound mystery concerning this crime of which they could not speak, but warning their disciples that a great sorrow comes to all who take their own lives. Then, in substance, constitute the esoteric doctrine given to the initiates of the lesser mysteries. As the degree dealt largely with the mysteries of those who failed to make this best use of their philosophic opportunities, the chambers of the initiation were sub, subterranean, and the horrors of Hades' hell were divinely depicted in a complicated ritualistic drama. After passing successfully through the tortuous passageways with their trials and dangers, the candidate received their honorary title of mystics. This meant one who saw through a veil or had clouded vision. It also signified that the candidate had been brought up to the veil, which would be torn away in higher degree. The modern world mystic as referring to a seeker of truth according to the dictates of the heart along the path of faith is probably derived from this ancient word, for faith is belief in the reality of those unseen or veiled. Dang, that's deep. Faith is the belief in reality of things unseen or veiled. The greater mysteries into which the candidates was admitted only after successfully passing through the ordeals of the lesser mysteries were sacred to Chris, the mother of Personian and represented abducted daughter. Cree carried two torches, initiation and reason to aid her in search of her lost child, the soul. At least she found Persephone, not far from Elias, and out of gratitude taught the people there to cultivate corn, which is sacred to her. She also found that the mysteries of Crete appeared before Pluto, god of the souls of the dead, and pleaded with him to allow Persephone to return to her home. This the god at first refused to do because Personian had eaten the pomegranate, the fruit of mortality. So the pomegranate, the fruit of mortality, the pomegranate seed. Wow, the fruit of mortality. At last, however, he compromised and agreed to permit Persephone to live in the upper world half of the year if she would stay with him in the darkness of hell. Wow, for the remaining half. So the believed during the winter months they lived under the earth with Pluto. Wow. Wow. Just as the lesser mysteries discuss the prenatal epoch of man when the consciousness in its 9 days during the embryo, wow, 9 months, was descending into the realm of illusion and assuming the veil of unreality. So the greater mysteries discuss the principle of spiritual regeneration and revealed to initiates not only the simplest but also the most direct, complete method of liberating their higher natures from the bondage of material ignorance. Like Prometheus chained to the top of Mount Caucasus. Yeah, vanilla and some Funyuns. Yeah. Wow, 2 bags of Funyuns. Mount Man's higher nature is changed to his inadequate personality. The 9 days of initiation were also symbolic of the 9 spheres through which the human soul descends during the process of assuming a terrestrial form. The secret exercises for spiritual unfoldment given to the disciples of higher degrees are unknown, but there is every reason to believe that they were similar to the Brahmanic mysteries, since it is known that the Eleusinian ceremonies were closed with the Sanskrit words Nox So they use Sanskrit out of the ancient Indian language. Wow. The part of the allegory referring to the 2 6-month periods during one which Persephone must remain with Pluto, while during the other she may revisit the upper world, offers material for deep consideration. It is probable that the Elysian realized that the soul left the body during sleep. or at least was made capable of leaving by special training, which undoubtedly they were in position to give. So that's something like astral projection. Thus, personified would remain as the queen of Pluto's realm during the waking hours, but would ascend to the spiritual worlds during periods of sleep. That is actually astral projection. The initiate was taught how to intercede with Pluto to permit, oh shoot, you gotta do my turn. Persephone, the initiate soul, to ascend from the darkness of his material nature into the light of understanding. When thus freed from the shackles of clay and crystallized concepts, the initiate was liberated not only for the period of his life, but for all eternity. For never throughout was he divested of those soul qualities which after death were his vehicles for manifestation and expression of the so called heaven world. In his initiated wanderings, the Nephilim therefore entered chambers of ever increasingly brilliance to portray the ascent of the spirit from the lower worlds into the realms of bliss. As the climax to such wanderings, he entered a great vaulted room, in the center which stood a brilliantly illumined statue of the goddess Cree. Here, in the presence of the Hierophant and surrounded by priests, in magnificent robes, he was instructed in the highest of the secret mysteries of Elias. So this is similar to the Egyptian mystery system. At the conclusion of the ceremony, he was nailed as an efforted, which means one who has beheld or seen directly. For this reason, also initiation was termed autopsy. So they was nailed to the wood like death and then a rebirth, autopsy. The Ephesus was then given certain sacred books, probably written in cipher, together with tablets of stone on which secret instructions were engraved. Wow. So this mystery system was they considered greatest of all philosophical institutions, said that it taught men not only how to live, but how to die. Wow. Mm, I think that's it. Wait a minute. Is that it? Oh, shoot. Let me hide this. How did I get back here? How did it? Oh, I must have made a mistaken move. Because I did this. If I already did the ECN, I did the Rosicrucians. I did these. I don't know how this thing moved because I should be just about done. Oh, maybe I was done. Oh, yeah. I think that was it for the Elysians, and I'm not doing. I already did the Black Boule. Did I do the Knights? What was the come on, come on. I don't know why this thing moved, but I think that is it. I just want to make sure. I don't know how I went all the way back there, but I'm glad I found my original thing. Y'all got food. Wow, that was it. The main thing of the mystery was teaching men how to live, but also how to die. Okay, we're gonna end that there. That's what I'm gonna get back to that. We're gonna end this here. Let me escape and end this. All right, there we go. Start dropping them short. Like, share, subscribe.